Where do I even begin? Because you can easily argue that there were so many different elements that factored into the Lakers losing this series to the Timberwolves. You could honestly go all the way back to the NBA trade deadline if you wanted to. The Lakers, knowing they need a center, it doesn't have to be the best center. It just has to be someone that is serviceable. As you just traded for Luka Doncic and you sacrificed some key role players to get Luka Doncic. They trade for Mark Williams and everything looks great. The Lakers, they can make a run now that they have a serviceable center for a playoff run. But not so fast. Mark Williams fails his physical, and the trade can't be processed. And do I think that Mark Williams would have made a difference in this series? I do not care who says what on what platform. Absolutely. I think Mark Williams would have made a difference in this series. As all series long, the Lakers were getting bullied inside the paint. By Rudy Gobert tonight, in game 4, the Timberwolves had 56 points in the paint, while the Lakers only had 26. You can also give some of the accountability on JJ Redick. As JJ Redick, he made questionable decisions all throughout the series. And one that honestly sticks out to me was him not playing Jackson Hayes. He didn't play Jackson Hayes at all in tonight's Game 5. And in the entire series, Jackson Hayes played a grand total of 31 minutes. And this is knowing the fact that you have been getting bullied and pushed around in the paint all series long. I also wouldn't blame you if you talked about the officiating. In particular, that I am talking about is at the end of Game 4. That is the one that I am willing to argue with you about. At the end of Game 4, the officiating was really horrendous. Luka Doncic gets tripped. There is no call at a very meaningful part in the game. Then in the final seconds, it looks like it's out on the Timberwolves and it's going to be Lakers ball with a chance to win the game in regulation. But instead, it is reversed and it is a foul on the Lakers and the Timberwolves 2 free throws to make it a 3-point game. And Austin Reeves misses the game-tying 3. The Lakers lose Game 4 to go down 3-1 in serious danger of being eliminated in round 1. And those I'm willing to argue with you about. But ultimately to me, and I never thought I would say this, but after this playoff series, I don't care who says what on what platform. After this playoff series, LeBron James can never be the GOAT. He can't. It doesn't matter what he does the rest of his career, he cannot be the GOAT. I don't care if he comes back for a swan song season next year, which that is ultimately what I'm anticipating. I'm anticipating that next season is going to be LeBron's last season. He could win it all next year in his swan song season, which I am again. I'm anticipating next year his swan song season. And he won't be able to be the GOAT based off of this playoff series. And it doesn't matter to me that LeBron averaged 25 points in this series. It really doesn't. It's the fact that he had a goose egg in the fourth quarter in Game 4 and only 5 points in the fourth quarter in tonight's Game 5 in an elimination game. In elimination games, the greats, they are expected to rise to the occasion. Do they do it every time? No, they do not necessarily. But LeBron James, he ultimately brought himself into this mess. And I'm not talking about by having the Lakers draft Bronny in the last NBA draft. It's part of it, but it's not what I'm saying. Although the Lakers, they could have just drafted a center in the draft, but they did not. But what I am trying to say is that in Game 4, where LeBron played 46 minutes in that game, I saw a lot of chatter on the social media talking about, oh, LeBron is 40 and he played 46 minutes. He didn't have the stamina that he would have had 5-10 years ago. And the spiel like that. And they put the blame on JJ Redick, saying that, well, why didn't he take out LeBron when they had a 10-point lead multiple times in that Game 4? Well, here's the thing. NBA coaches, they don't actually coach. Out of all the 30 teams in the NBA, I am willing to bet that less than 6 of them actually coach. The other 20 plus 24 or so, they're just there just to be there. They're just there because they have to be for the NBA, because they have to have coaches, even though the last decade or so the whole narrative is LeBron's the coach anyway. So LeBron, really, he could have just said, oh, well, I need to be subbed out for a little bit. That's honestly what should have happened. If LeBron James was ultimately thinking in that series, in that Game 4 in particular, take himself out for a couple of minutes, if he truly was exhausted, which I really feel like he was, then he should have just sat out until the next media timeout, and then he could have been refreshed. But he wasn't thinking like that. And that's why I really ultimately feel like he did bring himself into this mess. And this playoff series against the Timberwolves, it doesn't matter to me what anybody says. It hindered his legacy. It tarnished it. It doesn't matter to me that he's still playing at 40. At that point, this is just a flex for LeBron and his own ego. That's all it is at this point. And the fact that he was able to get Luka Doncic handed to him on a, no pun intended, silver platter. Adam Silver, he is the one who sent that trade through. Because the NBA ratings, they were tanking, and they needed something interesting to take place to get people to watch. So why not just give them one of the rising stars in the NBA and take him to a historic franchise like the Lakers, and him teaming up with LeBron James? That will get people to tune in. Because there is no way that David Stern would have let that trade go through. If David Stern saw that trade offer, he would not allow that to go through. He would say the Lakers need to add more first-round draft picks to that trade to make it even. Or I should say you just need to add first-round picks, period, because if I remember correctly, there wasn't even a single first-round pick involved in that trade. But as I'm recording this, LeBron was asked in his post-game press conference about how much longer he's going to play, and LeBron made a statement saying that he's going to take some time to discuss this with his family and then make a decision, which I have already indicated that I anticipate that he's going to play next year and it's going to be a swan song season. But is it going to be for the Lakers, though? Because he does have a player option. Luka Doncic, he did average 30 points per game in this playoff series. Both of them together averaged 55 points per game in the series. However, LeBron, he was just not clutch when he needed to. As I mentioned, goose egg in game 4 in the fourth quarter. Only 5 points a night in what was an elimination game. So LeBron, he ultimately did this to himself all throughout his career, in my opinion, because he just got too selfish. He had opportunity after opportunity to take pay cuts, and he did not. In my honest opinion, LeBron James' selfishness and his need for money has cost him at least 2 or 3 more championships. Why else do you think Tom Brady won 7 championships? It was because he was always willing to take a pay cut to bring in guys that would be able to fill their role. LeBron James has not done that. And I honestly would not anticipate, I wouldn't be surprised, I would not anticipate that there is not a possibility that Rob Pelinka is going to be in serious contacts with John Horst in seeing what he needs to sacrifice to try to get Giannis to the Lakers. But that is all I have to discuss on the matter. LeBron James, in my opinion, it's been fun to watch him over the years. But this playoff series, I don't care what anybody says, the playoff series, it has really tanked and tarnished his legacy.